Good evening, everybody, and over to you, Tim.
Hello. Welcome back to the ever so gentle and calm aftermath of sheer destruction
We're gonna die.
that we had last week, where you had successfully lived. You had one of you had literally jumped from a crashing train, while the rest of you held on for dear life. There were kobolds, bats, halfling chefs throwing anything they could get their hands on, and a tall lady made of stone who killed the driver of the train before your eyes, smashed the crystal binding the elemental that was driving the train, and then flew off into the sky, leaving you to panic, mostly. You managed to make several panels on the controls explode. You did manage to trigger several anchors, and the train arrived on platforms 2, 3, 4, and 5 simultaneously.
To be fair, Stone Lady cracked the crystal. I broke it.
Well, you'll have a chance to tell your story in a minute, because as the train came in, sending chunks of stone flying, whole timbers from the newly constructed station splintering and crumpled and... okay. I have no answer to that, Mr. Mystiques. And you had just about come to a halt, and you're literally picking yourself up, and in the case of Gorink, kind of stumbling through the sort of the dust clouds to actually reach the back of the train, because, well, the remaining back of the train, because several of the other carriages did come detached and had their own brief and exciting flights. And the last thing you saw was quite possibly the largest warforged you have ever seen, stomping down the remains, for lack of a better word, of the platform, with a large sort of star embossed in his breastplate. Which is all a fairly good sign that this guy is quite probably the sheriff. And that's where we left it. So, Gorink, you are You're maybe about 30 seconds to a minute away. You're sort of, I presume, struggling to catch up, unless you want to make a hard left and disappear into the desert.
No, I'm just struggling to make my way there while I'm humming a tune to myself to try and fit some words, lyrics to a song.
Okay. Well, in that case, Grazka, welcome home. What are you doing? You certainly recognise this. This is Sheriff Bulwark.
I think when we pulled in, I was sort of stood on the front of the train, wasn't I, trying to...
You were being a bit Jack Sparrow, yes. He sort of stops and sort of looks at you and... Grazka?
I'm just going to stand there and go, hi! And then just fall over.
Arcane Ferris, what are you doing?
I'm picking myself up out of the wreckage of the train because I was still inside.
Fair enough. You can either leave by the front window or by the back door, or quite possibly there's a small hole or three that's been torn in the side. If you want to step through the walls, your choice of how decorously or not you extricate yourself.
I'm just going to climb out the front window, stand up and go, did everybody see that? Because I will not be doing it again, and passing out.
One eye keep who is I'm getting a massive echo of my own voice off someone's feed.
It's Joe again, I think.
Okay. Yeah, one eye takes the option of keeping their mouth shut, but sort of crawls out from underneath a broken bench or three and sort of covered in dust, sort of comes out the sort of that back door, because that's largely where they were when everything next to Cheek, and sort of starts to sort of climb up. Well, normally they'd be climbing up to the platform, but this bit of it is sort of crumpled and sort of destroyed. So he kind of starts sort of clambering up the sort of the broken brickwork and wood, and very much doing that sort of trying to sort of get the hat off and beating the dust and smoke sort of out of his clothes, and just sort of very 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 quietly sort of just starts picking up one of the halfling chefs who was sort of clinging on for dear life to the back of the train and sort of patting him down and helping them sort of get on their feet. And there's sort of a little quiet conversation taking place there. Cheek.
Jake is going to come down from the... Jake's kind of like going to come down from the wreckage.
Mm-hmm.
Manage to keep himself up on the train.
Mm-hmm.
With Mr. Grumbles in one arm and the bat in the other. Mr. Grumbles literally has an iron grip on his wing, so I'm kind of like holding Mr. Grumbles like that with the bat kind of over my shoulder and like, Mr. Grumbles, you can drop the bat. You can drop the bat. Drop it.
Okay. Ariana also appears at the window, sort of peering out with that sort of slightly worried sort of, oh God, now what, am I in trouble expression. Immediately spots the two unconscious members of the party sort of, well, sprawled over the remaining front of the train, over the cowcatcher, and sort of moves to sort of double check and stabilise and make certain that they're not bleeding or hurt or anything, and sort of, especially in the case of Grazka, that Grazka doesn't fall off the cowcatcher and to take any more damage. So that's what she's involved in doing. The sheriff is sort of bemused probably is the best description. Given he can't really emote, he's got a fixed faceplate. But he sort of does turn while you're sort of literally picking yourselves up, and start shouting back for people to come and help. He sort of, we need some help here, wounded, various sort of people, mostly human. About half of them wearing House Orion livery, so staff at the station, plus a few presumably locals, start sort of hurrying out of various nearby buildings or from just down the road. Majority of them heading towards collectively where you are, but also a significant number, especially the House Orion, starting to sort of work their way down the tracks to sort of see who they can rescue in the other carriages and get an assessment of what's going on. And certainly looking around, what's immediately obvious is this extremely deep furrow that the crashing train has gouged into the rock and the stone and obliterated a fair few of the lightning crystals that would otherwise be supporting the train when in motion. The sheriff starts almost casually starts receiving reports from people saying, yeah, no, we found one over here, and there's that nod, and says, what the hell's making that noise? And that's when Gorindel appears on the screen. You muted, Joe.
Mute.
Sorry, I muted myself because you said it was back feed, so I'm just humming to myself, and all you can hear is fires and ogres, roasted bats. We had battles, kobold lost. Fires and ogres, roasted bats. Stone-clad kobolds and fires and ogres. And then stones and gargoyles, flying creatures, stoned bats, fire and ogres, stoned bats. Fires and ogres, roasted bats. We had battles, kobold lost. Fires and ogres, roasted bats. Stone-clad kobolds, fires and ogres.
Pocket.
Yeah.
Stones and gargoyles, flying creatures.
One gun.
Bats.
Fire
Fire and ogres, stoned bats.
Yes, here you go. Well done. Very good.
I think it's at that point, Grazka just sort of like looks up, like, oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, so Joe, you now have an extra gold piece because I've literally just paid your character. So.
Thank you.
Made a profit on the day already. So
At which point I turn around and go, thank you, we have more if you would like it. We have more.
Not
Right.
right now, I'm songed out.
What's happened? Who are you? Where's the driver?
They knew driver's dead. We didn't do it.
Right.
Train got attacked a ways back by kobolds and points to Jake's shoulder with the dead bat as that thing and others of that thing. And then there was a weird ass stone lady who stabbed the driver and then fucked off.
Right.
Because I'm from this area, will I know that she was a gargoyle, or?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just be like, she was a gargoyle, and she flew off.
Right. Okay. So, why are you all crawling out of the front of the train again?
Because the back's gone.
Back's gone. Rest of the back is gone. We tried to stop it before it flew into here and did fuck knows what. Our attempts to stop it were questionable.
Okay. Right. if you tried to stop the train, thank you. This could have been a lot worse, I guess. Right. I think what we will do is have a meeting tomorrow morning with the magistrate. I want you to come at dawn to the town hall. He sort of points out a building that's a short way away. In the meantime, I think so you have a chance to rest up. I can offer you accommodations. We have two places to stay. There's a Golden Dragon, which I'm sure as travellers will be far more what you're used to, or we have the local, the Crown. I can offer you rooms at either. I will pay for your rooms for tonight, so that you come as witnesses. And I'm sure the magistrate may have some further questions while we work out what's happening next.
Question. You know where I can find a new shirt?
Yes. There's the Shonky shop down the way. They probably got several sort of second-hand garments.
Thank you. That's it from me.
Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
At which point
Right.
I pull out my 2 bits of broken instruments and go, do you know where I can find somewhere to fix these?
I'm sure there'll be someone in the area that you can have a conversation with. There are a number of artisans workmen. If you may be able to sort of commission someone to help you with it. A couple of the Maidrights possibly might be able to help me quite fast, speed things up a little faster, if you have the coin. Right, get out of my way so I can start directing. The rescues over here.
The only thing I
Behind you in
need
the
to
distance,
fix
you
is
can
my
see
knee.
several of the customers coming out of the being sort of helped from the wreckage. It looks like people have generally survived. They're battered, they're banged up, but yeah, there's no body bags, no sort of. I mean, there are stretchers, but that's for people who are sort of twitching wounded rather than anything else. Sheriff Bulwark pulls out, he gets his wallet out basically, and pulls out like a small book of tickets, which there's several stubs from which are there already. So it's obviously something he's used to doing. And he says, "Right, your choice: the Golden Dragon or the Crown." The Golden Dragon you are all collectively familiar with. It's sort of like the, I suppose, like the premier equivalent of the Eberron world. There's always one roughly about a day's journey or so in various places. Nice, safe, you know what you're getting into, and will probably be largely frequented by travellers and possibly people working for Dragonmart houses. The Crown presumably is more the locals' place, so you might have a more interesting bunch of people. Up to you, really.
I mean,
Which is nearer?
The Crown's a bit nearer.
I'll take that one.
My father's always said that when you go travelling, that you always go to where the locals go, because even though it's not high end, I believe his words were that they said that they do more authentic food, and I don't want fake food.
I'll take the Crown because
He
if I have to
he pulls he pulls 6 tickets from the stubs, hands them to Grazka. You know where the Crown is. Take your
She's got hold of us.
newfound friends and pass those to Almatha.
Okay, Sheriff. Yes, I'll show them where it is.
Okay. And then, almost like he sort of dismissed, he said, "Don't forget, dawn at the town hall." Right. And he sort of turns back and starts sort of directing various like I said, various
Yeah.
rescuers, various mage lights, and people who sort of, you can sort of see some people sort of tapping bits of broken furniture, and magic starting to reassemble them. Others sort of getting block and tackle set up to lift heavier bits, things like that. So,
Jake's gonna go.
At which
up
point
to-
I go, Graska, do you know what dawn looks like? If we're supposed to meet them at the magistrates.
sorry, you were saying?
That's when sun comes up.
Why would they call that dawn though? That's a person's name.
You stole my joke, thanks, Joe. Jake
Puts face in hand and follows Graska. Like, no.
Jake's gonna reach into his pocket
Hmm.
and get out a little cookie that's been in there for a while. Hand it to the sheriff and go, you may be hungry because of your work, so here you go.
Right. Thank you.
At this point, Grazka's just got hold of the tickets, and she's just sort of plodding along what is left of the platform.
I'm sort of grabbed Graska's hands. Come on. If I die, drag me.
Are you,
Fair enough. Well,
are you all coming? I'll show you where Crown is.
Jake goes, does that involve that? Am I allowed to come?
She just sort of looks back. She's like, and she just sort of gestures.
yeah, One Eye and Ariana sort of do that sort of exchange of glances and just silently sort of carry on and follow on with you.
Jake is just stood there going, am I
Come on,
finding
Knuckles.
my own place or am I coming with you?
Come
Come
on,
on, Knuckles.
Jake! Come on!
Jake kind of just like starts walking, looks at Mr. Grumbles and goes, very confused.
Ariane sort of stops, takes pity, and says, "Come on, yes, of course you're not. He gave the kobold lots of tickets, so free room for the night."
Jake gets out his little notebook and writes, tickets equals friends? Question mark.
And then with all the mention of tickets, I suddenly start going, tickets,
God.
tickets,
No!
everyone needs tickets, 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 everyone needs tickets, tickets,
hands them another-
everyone needs tickets.
Jake just hands them a gold and goes, there you go.
The crown is sort of quite a how best to describe this, sort of plaster-walled, single-story, sort of sign outside with a depiction of a crown. If let's have, you know what, Goink, make a history check.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
24.
Wow.
That'll do it. Yeah, you recognise that it's a depiction of the ancient crown of Galifar, which was the grand sort of human nation that all the now existing 5 nations were originally provinces of. Basically, the death of the previous king led to basically the last war, the last 100 or so years of conflict as the nations sort of vied for control. It's a pretty good rendition of it, actually. It's sort of very much an indication that, well, the building might have been here a while, or possibly someone's very fond of their history, but it's fairly freshly repainted. What I will do is just double check I've got the right thing here. But as you're walking up to it, you can see you've got kind of the general scrub and dust. I mean, sand and dust everywhere is what you're very rapidly getting used to. There were lots of boulders, lots of scrubby grass, a few dead trees, cactuses, things like that. And the crown itself is kind of set up on sort of a bit more of a raised platform. Could you make Morgan, make a nature check for me, please?
What you see going forward is just all you see is like the claw prints in the sand of Grazka.
A 12.
Okay. You reckon it's probably because if they were having flash floods or things, that it would have the building above the sort of the more general layer. It's built up, but there is this sort of wooden porch with a large set of stairs leading up to it, and by the door you can see a large minotaur in kind of leathers. He sort of just sat on a bench. I'd guess the bouncer. He's sort of just casually observing you as you approach, and you should now see a different map on the screen.
Yes.
Before we go anywhere, Jeek is going to go over to here.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring.
Pick a flower from it.
Mm-hmm.
Get out one of his other notebooks and presses it in there, and then shuts it.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. That's not a problem. I mean, move yourself up. We should have control of you.
Just bringing up the other screen so that
2 people put your icons on exactly the same place, which is quite impressive.
Jesus Christ!
There you go.
Jeek, because Leah said Morgan no, Jeek's going to notice the Minotaur and go, whoa, he's big.
No, just observing you as you as you approach.
Jeek waves.
I'm waiting for Grazka because Grazka's got the tickets.
I'm just going to walk up towards the steps.
Jeek's going to call through. We got tickets. Which I think means friends. Is it okay if we come in?
Do I know the bouncer? So that's the quickest
I
one.
was going to say the Minotaur, who you know as Clark, looks at you, Grazka, and says, "What have you brought back with you this time? You didn't find this lot down the graveyard just too stupid to be dead or something, have you?"
I'm not far from it.
No, these are new friends. I found them on the train.
Right. Well, bar's open. In you go.
Can I walk up, just like give him a little hug?
Yeah, he's sort of got that sort of traditional sort of a very, very, very large person, where a very, very small person comes up and wraps themselves, probably with the height difference, probably about his thigh, and he's got that thing where the hand sort of flaps slightly in terms of that sort of.
I just
sort of pats you gently on the top of the head with it in a well-meaning. I mean, it's that sort of but it's not hurting you. It's just that sort of you're aware there's a.
Good to see you.
It'd be sort of good to see you back. Get your friends in.
Jeek looks up and goes, how do you sleep in beds with your horns?
How do you sleep without horns?
Oh, that's a very good point.
You have to alter hats.
They look cool.
Grazka,
Points.
Thank you.
as Grazka walks
Points to
through,
the horns peeking out of his hat.
as Grazka walks through the door, all you hear is, "I'm home!"
And yeah, you can see the bar itself is reasonably full. The number of people there are. Very quick at a glance on the stage over here to the left of the building. You can see 3 halflings who are performing as a band. No vocals, just something instrumental, and they're just sort of quietly. It's all kind of traditional. Some of you will know them as quite old folk song. I think it's probably the best way of describing it. Not necessarily ones that you are familiar with, though possibly you've probably heard some of them. Possibly from the Eldine Reaches, some of them quite old orc. They're sort of I suppose the equivalent would be sort of like if you went to the West Country for the first time and heard a band and they all had really thick accents. A case of you sort of know what they're singing, what they'd be singing about. Except obviously, as I've just said, they're not actually singing, but it's that similar sort of you sort of recognise bits of the tunes.
Oh God, it's the worst.
But it's not. It's not sort of feet stomping sort of crowd rousing stuff. It's sort of just that gentle sort of it breaks the sound up a little and sort of just makes you aware that there are people here.
It's background music.
It is general background music. It looks like they're sort of settled in for a while. It's almost like they've settled in to sort of do a bit of busking in the quiet, and they're just being paid to sort of sit there and be visible while they do it. They're probably all locals, but they're sort of doing that there. You can see a couple of orcs sat around, various humans. There's another Minotaur at the back sat with a knoll. There's a man made out of stone stood by the bar, and the barkeeper is a Medusa with a blindfold firmly across her eyes. And the eyes are basically she's seeing using the sticks of hair, which is something fortunately you're already aware of because you've seen Ariana doing it. Majority of people in here, there's a couple of warforged, various humans, a couple of orcs. The reporter Valley somehow has got here before you. You see him in a booth towards the back. Just quickly ping him over there. So it's that sort of saloon bar sort of gentle sort of bustle, with the added bonus that the music doesn't stop and all eyes turn to look at you as you walk in. If anything, there's sort of that sort of just gentle sort of hardly getting on with it, really. What you doing?
Well, I moved myself next to the stage in the vague hope I can find a way to insert myself into the narrative.
They've sort of got a table between them, and what do you do?
Yes, I'm just sat at this table at the moment.
Okay. Fair enough. I suppose Ariane will come over and join you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set permissions on the icons. So, Joe, I'm going to give you control of the icons so you can move Ariana up. That should be yours now.
Right. Which one is Ariana again?
Out here with the top of the 2 icons. Outside.
Right, okay.
Leah, can I give you control of one eye, please?
Yeah, I can move.
Just to move the icon. That's all.
I can move another small person between us. We are almost a whole person.
Yeah. So Ariana comes up and joins you, going.
I think we'll sit on the same table as Gorink and as
I'm taking I'm taking my ticket and getting a room. I need to sleep.
As loud as Gorink is. I'm just as I side up to them, I'm just gonna be like, so anyway, my name's Graska, and this is where I'm from.
Hello, Graska. That sounds like a great name for a song. Graska, Graska, Graska.
There's already music.
For a minute, I thought you were going to turn that into badger, badger, badger. Graska, 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 Graska.
It's literally what I was going for. Graska, 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 Graska.
Oh no, it's a cheek.
I go, anyway, I'm Gorink.
Just this little clawed hand reaches up and just shakes your hand.
And I take it and shake it and go, and this is my companion. Her name is Ariana.
It's nice to meet you. Please don't look at me like that. It's scary.
Whoa.
And I shake Ariana's hand.
I just sort of reach over, point one of the tickets and go, I'm a cane Ferris. I'm in pain. I'm going to bed.
Okay.
Okay. I'd love to give you some healing, but I'm all out.
I'm assuming there's a barkeep to ask about rooms.
Yeah, it'd be that Medusa I was just describing.
Yep. I'm going to go and have a word.
She sort of smiles and sort of looks at you as you approach. Says, hello. My goodness, something's bad journey. I take it. Oh, I see you've got a token. Right.
Today has been a train wreck is far too literal.
Right, that probably explains. Yeah, okay, fine. We did hear some noise. Right, Lara, just mind the bar, please. And sort of human lass comes over and sort of takes the order of the gargoyle standing by the bar. If you'd like to follow through with. Come on, move.
Yes, please.
Follow me. Okay. And she opens up the door here and says, "We've got a common room here. Your tickets will give you each."
Assuming in this one.
So to sleep, yeah. Go through into this room here. 6 tickets, 6 beds. I haven't got anyone staying with us. That's lucky. Table here, ablutions. Toilets are the toilet is at the end of the corridor. She opens that door to show it. And if anyone needs a bath, then that we can arrange as well. That's not a problem.
I just need the bed, thank you kindly.
Okay, opens that door as well. Okay. Well, I've opened the doors of the 3 various rooms on that. There is a bathroom, there is a toilet between, and this again. Right, well, set yourself down. As and when you're recovered enough to want to have food, just come to the bar. We'll sort something out.
I take everybody's like what people want to drink and go to the bar, grab some drinks, and then go back.
Okay.
I'm just gonna get on my bed, literally, Family Guy fall on the bed. And I'm done. I'm out.
I reckon probably one eye's probably going to do the same. So I'll put one eye.
Okay. Mariana probably sort of get an early night as well. Sort of soon. The menu is not particularly exciting. The beer is a bargain though, at a mere copper piece per pint. There's sort of a few other bits and pieces. There's some mushroom wine. There's some sort of spirits with names that you do not recognise. It's a mix of things. The food's looking at the menu appears to be sort of quite spiced, and again, largely sort of things of local wildlife. So there's things like axbeak steaks, roast auroch, pork's on the menu. There's sort of curried goat. You were raising a
What the fuck is mushroom wine?
wine made from mushrooms.
Right. Okay. Jake's gonna just hand over.
Yeah. In fact, make a history check,
Oh dear, sweet thing.
because you might have heard of it.
A 10.
You've got a vague recollection of hearing of dwarves drinking mushroom wine before now.
Jake sort of takes out a gold and goes, will this cover all of us?
For food and drink? Or
Yes,
I've literally just thrown 10 copper on the bar as a.
well, that covers your immediate round of drinks and
Yeah,
stuff.
the
Yeah,
but if you take that,
yeah, absolutely. I can get you some sort of get some simple meals.
yeah, could I have the curried goat
Mm-hmm.
and as much beer as this can cover?
Yeah, I shall keep the drinks coming. We'll get some food out to you all.
Is this enough? Yes.
That'll do you. You're fine. Yeah,
Okay, there you go.
lovely. Thank you very much. Should put that in a coin box, sort of attached to the bar. Right. Shall I just bring out like a tray of meats and bread and potatoes and stuff, and you guys can just sort of have it in the middle and
I just sort of nod and go, you know what I like.
that I do, and yeah, this yes, this is probably be fresher than half the stuff you normally bring in. Right, okay, Calla, yep. Platter, this table, yeah. Take about sort of 10-15 minutes to make it up, but I'll keep the drinks coming.
Jake's gonna pry the bat away from Mr. Grumbles.
Yeah, probably. It's looking a bit sort of battered. I mean, if for nothing else, it's now thoroughly coated in sand and dust from being dragged through the sand.
And so like put Mr. Grumbles on the floor with like, and when it comes, sort of like put some like meat and stuff on like a plate for him.
Alamash just quietly gives you sort of a small pewter plate for Mr. Grumbles.
And then Jake's gonna go, oh, the magic one wanted this, and he's gonna go sort of like to Acken Ferris's room, sort of knock on the door.
Well, the doors it's a common room. So if you look at the map,
Okay, sort of like
through the double open doors to the left.
okay, sort of like goes up to Acken Ferris, knocks on his bed.
Akin Ferris, you were just about starting to recover, and someone just stumped your bed, and there's a really quite pungent smell of something really reeking that's just sort of assaulting your nostrils at this point.
Something died and it wasn't me. What the fuck?
Hello, Mr. Magic Man.
Hi.
I know you were looking at the bat. I've managed to rescue it from my cat, and here you go.
And this rather sort of sodden, presumably in a sack at some point, someone just scooped up a sack and when it was, or have you literally just been dragging this bloodied carcass?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, fine.
He's
The battered remains of maybe half of the bat by now. Intestines are sort of largely sort of come loose, and probably the cat's eaten half of them. Yeah. Congratulations, you've now got a very large dead bat on your bed.
I wanted a wing. That was it. You can have the rest. I just want a wing.
Okay, Jake rips the wing off and hands it to him.
Thank you.
I'll go give the rest back to the cat. I hope you enjoy your wing.
Thank you.
There's sort of a slight shriek from one of the villagers you walk back in with this even more bloodied sort of chunk of mostly dismantled bat. Sort of, what the hell? Yeah, there's sort of a number of people just going, oh dear.
I was sharing. The magic man wanted the bat, but also my cat wanted the bat. So I've kind of split it in half.
Alamash sort of just comes over to you and says, "Shall I get my staff to chop it up a bit and sort of tidy it up because you're making quite a mess, and it'll save me having to do a lot of cleaning at the end of the day."
Okay. Yes, please.
Right.
Could you try and keep the other wing intact for me, please?
She sort of grabs a burlap sack from under a drawer under the counter and brings it out and says, "Just put it in there." It's just wonderful.
Jake's got to hold out his very disgustingly blooded hand and go, "My name's Jake."
Lovely to meet you. She sort of already turned away, but the snakes sort of look at you and sort of keep their eye on you as you're going like, I shall return. If you want napkins, there's some on the bar. And she's sort of heading towards a door at the other end of the...
When Jake notices that the snakes are looking at him, he kind of does a cute little wave as if he goes, "Thanks."
There's at least one that sort of bobs sort of back and... Yeah.
The snake liked me.
So so Alamash is currently off to the kitchen, so I should just put her in there for a minute.
Jake then sits down with his food and just starts just knocking back the beers.
Right. Okay. Back to Goink. What have you been doing while this small exchange has been taking place?
I don't know what the exchange has been. I apologise. I think...
Which would make sense.
Half destroyed bat had been handed from person to person, and the barkeeper, the somewhat bemused Medusa, has currently gone off with the large burlap burlap bag with the remains of the bat. I'm not going to say that 3 times. To try and get it slightly more presentable. The musicians are still playing, but there are spare seats around the table on the thing, and as I said, it does look like it's sort of a fairly casual affair. Food is being delivered. You've overheard them sort of saying a platter of food is going to be delivered shortly. Quite possibly, the world's vilest smelling beer has just been put in a pewter mug in front of each of you.
I basically go to take a sip of the beer, decide I don't like it.
It's
remember I can't just... Pardon?
It's a horrifying rotgut.
Yeah, kind of go, interesting taste, and put it to the side and just go, that's lovely. But I don't think it will do much for my wonderful singing voice.
Grazka, on the other hand, for you, it's the most delicious beer, and you come here every week for it.
I'm knocking them back. I'm knocking it back at least.
To most people, it tastes terrible, but it does serve its purpose. Anyway, so yeah, go on, Aria. Going.
Yeah, so I just look at Grazka. Excuse me. I just look at Grazka, bemused that she can knock all this ale and stuff back and not seem to bat an eyelid. And I'm thinking, part of me going, I want to sing, part of me goes, I just want some food, and then the other bit goes, I want to fix my instruments. And I'm trying to work out how I can discreetly interrupt the people on the stage, go, where can I fix my instruments and can I sing? But I'm not quite sure how to do it.
Okay, fair enough. So you're sort of sat in that kind of paralysis of too many people sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think so. Probably actually one eye's probably just circulating. Actually, thinking about it.
Okay. I will move them.
Yeah, just put them randomly somewhere. I think just sort of do that sort of just that quiet sort of low level just chat hi and sort of just trying to I'd sort of layer the land sort of earwigging in on conversation sort of thing. But yeah,
getting close but not too close, trying to find out what is going on in the local area, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. What about yourself, Graska?
Graska is I don't know at the moment. She's going to be eating eating like bits of meat off the tray.
Yeah.
And then I
think what I'm going to do.
Can I go and see the reporter?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
It was that trying to work out what I was going to.
Okay. The other thing I was just going to say is because you're local, is I'm going to give you advantage on investigation and other types of roles as they come up guarding the town.
Okay.
So if people are saying they want to find something, you'll have a bit of an advantage on the investigation roles.
Okay.
You know, sort of the right people to ask.
Okay. Is there anybody that looks out of place apart from the reporter? I know that's a weird question.
It is a weird question. In terms of people that you've not seen before, in terms of that thing. There's
If not, I'll talk to the reporter.
not particularly. No, it's very much it's a social hub sort of experience. So there's people, and people come in, eat, go, whatever. I mean, you see various tradesmen, you see various sort of artisans, farmers. Not so much people from the Dragon Mart houses. You're guessing they would probably be over at the Golden Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna walk over to the report. I'm gonna be like, hi, I seen you on the train, and I'm Graska. Even if he's mid conversation, completely inappropriate, just walks over, and just holds out her claw.
Nice to meet you again. I'm so glad you're doing well. You've all got a bit of an exciting day, really. Sorry, where are my manners? Naimir, this is Graska, and Naimir is sort of fairly robust-looking human. Having just said that there weren't any people from the Dragon Mart houses, he does actually have a small pin on his shirt lapel of House Orion. He sort of says, "Oh yeah, welcome to Red Rock. It sounds like it wasn't the best introduction for your new friends to the area, but are you're okay, aren't you?"
Yes. Yeah, this is my home. This is where I'm from.
That's right. Yes, we all recognise and know you. Valley, I really must go make that report I was talking about. shall I drop back later? Valley sort of closes over the notepad that he'd got. So says, that would that'll be lovely. Yeah, we'll get some wine in, and we'll sort of get the cards out, and we'll have a good old chat and now. If you want to bring anyone else along, we'll maybe get a card game going. Yeah, sure, fine. He excuses himself and sort of shakes your claw gently, and again it's that thing of someone who's very much bigger than you, sort of not quite an exaggerated care, but it's that sort of in the same way that I suppose almost in the same way that I would if sort of a 3-year-old came up and started talking to me and wanted to take my hand. It'd be the case of just being very careful not to basically sort of hurt them in any way, and takes his leave and meanders on off. Let's put that on the GM layer. And there's Valley, and he sort of sat there, and he's got a glass of some spirit, whiskey of some description, and sort of a small block of cheese and hunk of bread, and he's sort of carving a bit of that off. Oh, glad to see you again. That was certainly an adventure. What did you make of all that then?
Oh, but it's very strange. Did you see the big stone lady?
No.
Well, she was a guy. She killed the driver.
Oh, that's awful. Well, did you see it?
We were just going in, and as we opened the door, we seen her use a knife and just stab.
Oh dear! It's her own. I mean, her own, or did she? Because he had that big sort of shiny thing.
I think she took his knife.
Oh well. I mean, I suppose it was fairly garish looking, but I suppose no accounting for taste. Well.
Have you heard of anything?
But
have you heard of anything going on since you got off the train?
Well, no, I came here to sort of settle down a bit. I mean, we've just been talking about sort of how the attackers weren't local. Certainly not the local tribe. They were. I mean, well, for starters, you'll have seen them around the place. They're blue scaled. They're completely different look. The Karpaka, I think they call themselves. But yeah, so they're not local. So presumably they're mercenaries of some description. I guess that means it was a raid.
That would make sense. So we got to go and see the magistrate tomorrow. Have they asked you to go there?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, good luck with that. I mean, I'm going to. I was only sort of going to come here for a while. Looks like my stay might be slightly longer, but I'll be around. I'll be around. So do come and catch up.
Well, we've got a plate of meat if you want anything. And she points over to where everybody is. Everybody's sat.
You know what? Why not? Why not? Let's come on over. I'll bring my bottle with me to contribute to the score. Let's have a good old catch up. And he sort of brings up and he's got a spare loop of sausage that's been left on the table with him and stuff like that, and comes on over with you back to the table. Sort of this very sort of dapper goblin in sort of quite well kept clothing. Sort of it's not high end sort of nobles clothing, but it's good quality working white collar worker type clothing. Is much more that of a clerk than a labourer of some description. Okay, so that's sort of that exchange that's taking place there. Back in Ferris, are you still attempting to sleep, or are you?
What I was going to do before sleeping was to try and debone the wing.
Yeah. Okay. So let's make that a nature check, please. While you're working on that.
Oh,
Nice. So is the aim to sort of basically have the wing structure, the wing bones, or to have the wing meat as intact and possible with the bones separated?
Essentially, to remove the arm, the fingers, to keep
Yeah.
the leather.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, yeah, you're able to do that. So you're not too worried about disarticulating the actual bone, skeleton, bone and cartilage. It's more
No.
that sort of trying to preserve. Right. Okay. That's why I was asking. It's just sort of what is your primary focus in terms of the butchery.
Logic is if it's cut at the sort of where it joined the leg and the body together, to cut that section, and
Yeah.
then each section between the fingers and keep them as separate bits of leather.
Yeah.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah. And with that roll, easily enough to get that. So you've got those kind of those raw ingredients that could be then sort of used in whatever capacity springs to mind. Yeah. Okay. And that takes you a good 10 minutes. Just quietly sitting there. I mean, you don't have to be in your bed to do it. You could just you've got that table in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
You could be doing that there. And Ariana probably sort of keeps you company and sort of asks sort of general questions, sort of in that sort of curious sort of, why did you cut it on that, on that angle? Why did why did you do it sort of slanted an angle rather than sort of straight down? That those sort of making conversation sort of ways forward.
It is
That makes sense.
as close to the bones as I possibly could to keep the most material I could.
Oh, right, fascinating. Okay.
has One Eye heard anything as he's been wandering around?
Well, he's sort of largely been listening in. Apparently, sort of the buzz that's really going is that later tonight there's basically a poker tournament, and there's there's various conversations around how well attended that'll be, and sort of apparently there's a couple of couple of card sharks from nearby settlements who are expected to arrive. So it's one of those. Some talking about it for the joy of wanting to compete, others for that sort of slight we're in the presence of slightly infamous people. We want to see what happens. So that's sort of the buzz that started that he picks up on a general tour. But he's also starting to get a feel for some of the various core services that are around. So, for example, he's picked up the name of a tailor in the town, and sort of where he sort of asks a quick question of where could they be found, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
What else? That there's a theatre. There's there is a house civis, speaker stone location. So Dragonmark houses are here. There's a Kundarak vault. House Orion has got obviously the station, but there's also a camp nearby where soldiers and the workforce who've been working on the lightning rail are based. There are the other thing is they sort of, and you sort of know this as well, is that the lightning rail's sort of reached this point, but it's alongside the older Thunder Road. Now, what a Thunder Road is an older House Orion enchantment where those travelling on the Thunder Road are at roughly double normal walking pace. That the magic sort of it's sort of a not quite a 7 league boots type thing, but it's like walking on a travelator. So you're still putting in the effort, but it takes you about half the time it would normally take you. And so normally that's what the normal route for the stagecoach, for merchants with their vans and their lorries. They'll usually use the Thunder Roads. The Lightning Rail, they were starting to look at what they could do for beginning freight, and that's why there was a freight car attached. So there's as more people start to sort of arrive into the bar, the kind of the tone of conversation is not really that the mood is darkening or anything, but there is sort of a layer of concern that what was being viewed as possibly quite a boon to the town in terms of sort of different types of commerce or greater access to well, certainly to the east, and then lots of sort of, who knows, maybe one day they'll get it off. They'll get this further into the domain. It was very much that sort of symbol of the sort of there being sort of links across the frontier and sort of profit that would come with it. So there's a lot of sort of that's not going to be happening anytime soon, and there's that sort of shock and uncertainty about, well, who would want to wreck the train? Who would, who's profiting from that? What's why has this been allowed to happen? All that sort of, that ranging from the sort of quietly sort of clearing the fat on to sort of a bit of outrage and something should be done. All these sort of little bustling sort of little, as people come and go, just say over the next couple of hours or so, while the while evening starts to, while the afternoon begins to sort of head in towards the evening. Each of you, as you're going around, how sparingly or not are you eating and drinking? Are you? I mean, Francis already said they're quaffing, so I'm going to ask you to make a constitution roll in a minute.
I think Grazka would have started by sort of like glug glug glug, and then sort of slowed down once the nerves had calmed down.
Okay. If I can have a constitution check from you, please.
Let me just get back to the right screen. There we go. Doobie 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 doo. Where the hell is my oh, there we go. Constitution. Doobie doo, and roll is, oh god, nope.
Okay.
She's probably got a little bit drunk.
Let's okay. We'll simulate that by you being poisoned.
Okay.
So if you go into the into the conditions and click that, then that will apply the various penalties for that. So basically there'll be some penalties, disadvantages, things like that. There you go.
Yay.
Yeah, but you are still upright, but yeah, count yourself as a little bit merry. That's maybe the best description. But yeah, your head's swimming a bit. Jeek
is eating and is also, he's kind of anxiously drinking, sort of like, if I'm drinking, no one will talk to me and I can't make a fool out of myself.
Okay, so let's have a constitution check for you, please. Constitution save.
Oh, okay. I'll definitely do a constitution save.
Mm-hmm. Yep, nicely done. Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, the beer's sort of, like I said, it's rot gut, but you've grown up on some fairly sort of potent sort of let's say, for example, your father used to sort of try to make wine out of most things that grew in the local area. So you've had everything from nettle wine to walnut wine, um, uh, bulrush wine, uh, toadstool wine, which was certainly a unique experience. Um, yeah, apples, pears, mulberries. Yeah, if it's a fruit, you certainly try to make it. And then other things that you really wouldn't credit, but as long as it grew on a tree or near a tree, then he would give it a shot. And some stuff you take a swig and just go nope, and just quietly sort of pour it on the grass.
Jake's drinking, going. It beats the banana cider my dad once made.
Oh no!
What?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So you're quite happy with that. Goink. Quietly.
I've just been happily supping on water.
Okay. No problem at all. Have you plucked up over the next couple of hours? If you want to go over enough, you can. But you are, or are
Sorry,
you just
I'm
sort
really
of sitting?
struggling. My speakers are just suddenly starting to go, so apologies.
Sorry, your
Speakers.
My speakers are starting to go, so I'm struggling to hear what's being said.
Oh. I'm just saying, sort of a couple of hours are going by. Do you want to be joining the band, or are you staying where you are?
No, I'm starting to feel quite tired and lethargic from the day.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna just slowly make myself towards the rooms because I just need to feel like I need to sleep and cuddle my instruments.
Okay, fair enough. You can do that. Okay, Ferris, you've got a couple of hours in which to entertain yourself before people start to come through. Just generally resting, taking it easy, power napping, anything in particular that you want to do?
I've said there'd been a bit of a discussion with Ariane. Then, sort of getting towards the later end of it, I would have picked up the bones from the bat's wing and walked out to the bar to sort of say, does anyone want these, or is there something you want to use them for that I can trade a little bit for?
Yeah, I mean, Alamash is there. She sort of sees them over and there's sort of a, even above, her eyebrows are still sort of quite expressive above the blindfold. Sort of there's that sort of, and she says, yeah, no, I'll give you a silver for them.
Done.
I know a couple of local artists who'd love to scrimshaw and make or use them as the handles for brushes and things. So she reaches into her purse and brings out a freshly minted silver coin. You don't recognise the coat of arms on it, but it seems to be standard legal. You've seen several other of them passing around, so hands that over. Yeah, thank you.
Seeing that Grazka's a little bit on the merry side, I'll sort of go over and say, I think you're done. I think you need to sleep.
Um,
Can you make it back to the room on your own, or do you want a hand?
Graska's fine. Graska's fine.
It's still early evening at this point. Sort of the sort of a lot of the people who were here earlier have gone away. Some of them have come back, sort of starting to get evening meals or just sort of settling in. As I said, and they're starting to sort of assemble, sort of grab sort of tables together for sort of groups of people. Sort of, and cards are being brought out, and the wait staff are doing a lot more sort of walking between tables and sort of getting drinks out and stuff.
The only
like
other
that.
question I was going to ask of the barkeep is if there's anywhere in town that cures leather.
Oh well, I suppose there's the haberdashers. Yeah, you could. No, they're always working with various materials, but that would be. One moment while I double check my sources. Yeah, Devon would quite happily work with those for you. He's an ambitious chap. Makes most of it, most stuff that comes through in the area. Probably still catch him. He's being a goblin. He prefers being open in the evenings anyway, so that's always an option.
Yeah, I'll make that trip now because the the leather from that won't stay fresh for long. Especially not in the heat.
Grazka hears that and just goes, "Tell him I said hello."
You can come with me and say hi yourself if you want.
I don't want to walk. No, she's just like, I don't want to walk. I'm going to stay here.
That's right. You and Valley are carefully sort of throwing back things, and Valley's asking you a lot of questions about your life in the local area, sort of any interesting graves that you've dug, whether there's anyone you're looking forward to seeing, sort of with the poker games, that sort of stuff. He's really sort of showing a real interest in everyone and everything that's going on, and he's glad to have found someone who's so happy to share.
I sort of half recount my tale of how I got here and like like my first memories of the area and that sort of thing. And
okay,
just like that I like being around the graveyard because it's quiet.
Okay. And then he asks you a few questions about the graveyard keeper and the church, because they're very different. The church here is Silver Flame. The graveyard keeper, the graveyard mayor, he follows the keeper, the great spirit that gathers all unto eternal rest. And so sometimes there's a bit of tension, shall we say, between the church and the graveyard. The gravekeeper, he's sort of very much sort of the that older faith, whereas the Silver Flame is perhaps sort of tries to wrest a few more souls from the keeper than the keeper might otherwise like. So there's a few funny stories there of sort of the priests and the gravekeeper having arguments about whether someone's really dead or not, and you feel you can embellish that and have fun with that as much as you like on the front. What are you doing, Jeek, in the meantime?
Jeek is going to go up to the barkeep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alamash.
And say, hello, sorry for causing such a mess earlier.
It's okay.
I was wondering if there are places where I can get my clothes washed.
I mean, we can sort that for you. It's not a problem. Or again, I mean, haberdashers could probably do a quick sort of cantrip or two. But we could get your stuff washed and darned and things. Or there's any one of a number of sort of seamstresses who sort of take in work. Try the market. What do you need doing?
He sort of like just points at his all of his clothes, sort of just covered in blood, and goes, my dad always said that the manual way of cleaning is the proper way of cleaning. So I wouldn't want to rely on a spell because spells are not always accessible. So I was wondering if you could possibly give things a hand clean.
We can probably find someone down the market to do that. That's not a problem. I mean, if you need new clothes, because those are looking really ripped and torn in places. I mean, your friend, I believe, is just heading off towards Little Hands. If you want to, you could go with, maybe get some fresh clothing to have some spares.
Welcome to the company.
Jigger, my friend, sort of looks over at Akin Ferris and goes, "We're friends, yes?"
I'll take that as a yes for now.
Okay. He takes out his notebook and goes, "Gaze backward equals friend," and then drops it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You're the second person I've met with. It sort of does that. It's all got stay prepared.
Right. Okay. Well, obviously, you came in with the lady.
I think it's really cool. You're very lovely and pretty.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
And then it sort of looks at Akin Ferris and goes, "You look cool too."
Thank you. Same.
Shall we go? Shall we go?
Let's.
Okay. Fairly easy to find. There's signposts. And kind of the structure of the place is sort of a couple of streets that have most of the kind of commercial, and then sort of another area where most of the huts and houses, cabins are. So even at this time of day, it's still busy, because one of the things you've noticed very quickly, the pair of you, as you're walking across the market, across the town square, is that yes, there are a fair few humans here, but there are also a number of races, species that are much more comfortable with being around during the night. So as you're traveling, you're seeing more goblins and kobolds, orcs sort of taking over on various market stalls and things like that. And sort of the human influence is starting to sort of fade away in terms of the languages that you're overhearing. So less sort of human common, more kind of goblin or draconic languages sort of being heard and countercalled. Someone that you might have heard, selling fruit, shouting oranges, oranges. By the time you come back, there's a goblin pretty much doing the same spiel, but in goblin. So it's sort of like it's almost like sort of by night and by day. There's different aspects of thing, but the market, almost you guess it probably is going to be active around the clock. Very much a trading town.
Do you feel relaxed or looking around at the less human, less like human looking, and goes, "Oh," and drops the visage, and he looks like he just relaxes and just lets his face go normal.
Okay. So for the benefit of Akin Ferris, who's never seen this before,
That is a neat trick.
what do you now look like?
Still looks like Jake, just entirely white. Skin is white, but he's still got the black thing just under his nose.
Right, that's a
Paler, slightly slighter.
instant reaction. That is a neat trick. Little rude. Didn't get your name before.
Jake.
Pleasure. A cane Ferris or a cane to friends?
Okay. He kind of like repeats it to himself, but syllables.
And you make your way down the street, and there's there's people of all ages. There are goblin children, kobold children. There are little sort of little clusters of dwarves, of sort of a couple of the street corners. You see sort of large, rough-looking mercenaries, and then you sort of think. Again, you're so used to sort of seeing humans, you kind of see the armor first, and then realize actually these are much taller and much bigger and broader, and it's a cluster of gnolls. And they each have sort of a common red war paint across their eyes, and they're not looking to cause any trouble, but there's that sort of at the same time they are that predatory gaze as people walk by. But yeah, you're guessing mercenaries, possibly, perhaps.
Just realised session 3 and we've committed the cardinal sin. We split the party.
There are also human soldiers on patrol who are wearing the blue or Breland, which is obviously the nation to the east where most of you have come from. And so there's this sort of this odd mix of the east and the west, sort of alongside each other, not quite mingling. And in this moment of transition from night to day, not entirely certain as to which nation necessarily is in charge.
What reaction am I getting?
You're getting a few looks. Tieflings are not common. You're getting more odd looks from humans and from some of the orcs. The gnolls don't bat an eyelid. You see at one point a couple of Warforged and a Minotaur striding through, and again they're wearing leather armors and sort of a uniform look, but not anything that you recognise. And the Minotaur nods to you as you go by. You've never seen it before in your life, but there's just sort of a not a deference, but there's sort of a, and then carrying on their way.
I'd return the nod.
I can what are you?
Tiefling. Would ask.
Cool.
Hopefully not impolite, but what are you?
I believe you call us changelings.
Fair enough. Never met one of your kind before, so definitely no.
We kind of keep it to ourselves, but I want to protect people, so I have left to learn.
Good trip to learn on. Bit of a bumpy ride to start with, though.
Yeah, first time on a train.
Yeah, same. Never doing that again.
Dick kind of like holds out his hand and goes, I heard this is what people do when they make friends, and sort of like just puts his hand forward and go, shake.
Shakes hand, but takes it as a sort of a warrior's grip, so wrist to wrist rather than hand.
Cool. Tiefling. Okay.
Tiefling. So I don't know how well I've been described, but yeah, red skin tiefling, black hair, horns, hooves, tail.
The street is curving gently, and as you sort of come around to the side of it, you sort of see the sign for Little Hand Haberdashers. Nice big broad sort of windows with various sort of various mannequins in it, which are well dressed, well appointed. If the person who works here made these costumes, they're really quite skilled, because some of this would not be out of place in big cities. There's sort of stuff ranging from well-made dress uniforms to opera capes to all sorts of weird things. Brand hats, gowns, and there's some quite exotic materials in there as well, and some styles that neither of you have encountered before. They're not sort of the more traditional Breland Eastern nations, Five Nations styles of cut of clothing that you've encountered before. There are some that seem to be built for. I mean, the mannequins have actually been sort of built slightly bigger, some really broad-shouldered, or some with kind of slits, sort of in the sort of backless sort of shirts, or things like that. Sort of very obviously being built for physiologies that are not what you're used to encountering.
Trying to cater to more of the local races rather than the ones they would normally.
That's a good get. That's a good surmise. Yeah, absolutely. Sign on the door says it's still open. Couple of figures moving around in there.
Jeek sort of like goes and pushes the door open.
Okay, I would like you to make a quick check, please, dex save, because 3 small goblin children have just come barreling out of the door.
Oh.
Yeah, no problem at all. You sort of almost elegantly sort of sidestep and spin as these 3 boy, 2 little girls, one of them very much sort of not quite, sort of just out of toddler sort of age, basically kind of barrels, sort of not quite fighting, but it's that sort of tag play sort of. One of them's got a ribbon and sort of running around, and sort of the toddler sort of chasing after it sort of thing. And you hear a woman's voice from inside shout, "Don't be out too late, you know, Gats has only got little legs." And as you walk in, there's sort of this goblin sort of in a lovely sort of white shirt and sort of red cravat, and he's got a tape measure around his shoulders. Sort of comes around the side and saying, "Hello, my goodness, I don't think I've seen. Believe I've seen anyone of your type round here recently. How can I help? Welcome to Littlefingers. I am, of course, Devon Littlefinger, and I would be very pleased to help you with your needs. You seem to be in need of certainly some cleaning and fresh thing. Let's have a look now." And sort of gets a minute, sort of starts just like to stand there, sort of guesstimation. Says, "How many shirts would you like? Shirts, jackets, perhaps something for the evening?"
2 shirts.
Absolutely. Any particular style? Any type of material or colour that you'd like? I have a range of the most popular.
White with ruffles, please.
White with ruffles. Oh, a man of taste. I do love to encounter this. That's wonderful. I'm so used to labourers coming in just wanting something that they can go and patch their carts with. Right, let's just do a quick measure. If you just take a seat here, sir, I will just measure up the shoulders.
He can't just point at what he's wearing and go, something like this, but it's in your style.
Well, let's have a look. Just if I do have. He did that in a way when he does that. So I am so sorry, sir. And turns back to Jack and says, "I can see you've got a delivery. Let me just take the gentleman's measurements, and then we can talk while I get my wife to get things off the shelf." In fact,
Absolutely.
actually, I'm being rude. I do apologise. Yes, mirror. And sort of this other goblin woman comes out from sort of behind the beaded curtain sort of thing. Sort of comes out, sort of comes out, and sort of plain sort of frock, sort of an A-line type thing. Sort of comes out, sort of says, "Yes, this gentleman here with the hat and the bag. Could you see to him? I can smell something. Maybe needs treating. And Mira comes over to you, towards you. So, Doping is just measuring you up. Mira comes over to you, Aki and Varys. So, yes, my husband is so distractible. It's unbelievable. How can I help?
I came by some interesting potential leather, and I was wondering if you could treat it for me.
So were you thinking of having it as as an item at the basis of an item of clothing, or as trim, or what did you have in mind? Start to open the bag and have a look at what you've managed to pull out. Sort of brings it over to a table with a ever burning lantern on a poise angle, sort of to bring it over to have a closer look.
Sort of like potentially, if there's enough there, to turn it into a second coat, because this one gets knocked around a bit. If not, then potentially just keep the leather for something at a later date.
Let's have a look. I think it's a giant bat. It's in pretty good condition. You know what? I mean, Devon does love a challenge. I reckon he probably could. Similar style to this sort of to the coat you got on now.
Yes, definitely a duster. I like my dusters.
Duster. I reckon we can. As a custom piece, that would probably take us pulls out a little wand and sort of just waves it across the pieces that you've got. You sort of see the cut sort of healing and forming back up into sort of make it more of a single piece. And sort of, waving it, sort of just kind of neaten it up and tidy up a bit. You know what? I reckon give us a day or so, and I think we can have a lovely little sort of thing for you. So if you want to take a seat next to your friend, I'll take some quick measurements, or if you want to just give me your coat and I'll do a quick sort of measure up on that, and then say come back in a couple of days. We'll say pretty fresh. We could do this up. You know what? I could call in a favour, get a nice silk lining for this. What colour would you like the silk in?
Red, please.
Red silk lining. I reckon we could probably get you something for. Let's see with the tie and get a couple of materials. You know what? A couple of gold. 2 days' time. You can come for a fitting, and we'll have it ready for you.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay. If I could just take you to where are you staying at the moment?
Currently at the Crown, awaiting words. Our arrival was a little bumpy.
Oh, you were on that. Are you okay? I didn't. Is that how that poor gentleman over there got so scuffed up?
Yeah, a little beaten up, but.
Oh, dreadful. Well, I hope it doesn't colour your first impressions of our town.
Oh no, not at all. It has, however, coloured my impression of trains.
Well, I can understand that. I mean, there's a reason that the Thunder Roads have lasted for so long. Right. Okay. Well, if I can I just take I'll take a name for the ledger. What's the name?
I'll go by a cane.
A cane. Okay. Lovely. Okay. I'll note that we can reach you at the Crown. If you do find yourself somewhere else to stay, then obviously just let us know. It's just in case we get a question or say we get a lucky delivery of something else in and a chance to sort of spruce it up a bit. Bit of extra working, not work or something on the leather. But we'll get the basics. We'll get the basic cut done. Come back in a couple of days, and whatever you do, don't let Devon talk you into making something incredibly detailed on this sort of work. You want something good and I would say good and reliable like this. I would say with good material like this.
Practical, I think is the word.
He does love a challenge. Given half a chance, he will be sort of getting inserts, bows, and all sorts of things into this if he could possibly help it. And for God's sake, don't go with the frills. If he offers you frills, don't take them.
Laughs at the at what has just been mentioned. But yeah, the only thing I'd ask for is pockets. I need my pockets.
Absolutely. Put it this way, he's only just got round finishing making a ball gown for that Warforged juggernaut of our sheriff, so don't worry about it. Now then,
As
so
that brief, hang on, yeah.
while you're having that mental image, Devon is said, right, yes, absolutely can do that. A ruffle. Now, when we say ruffle, are we talking that brocade at the front, sort of just put this down to the mid chest, or are you looking for full length, magnificent sort of run of texture?
Sort of like down the ruffles just so that they can peek out and over my waistcoat.
Over waistcoat, absolutely. Tell you what, I'll do you a deal. So you got two of these, and he brings out these two things in white. Lovely, yeah. He said, I've got various things on the store. I think looks at the label on it. I think I won't need to do any corrections on these ones. But if you wanted to have something a bit special, I could whip something up quite happily. I can let you have these two for a silver piece. If you'd like a waistcoat, I can do. Well, I could do you a plain one for silver, but if you wanted something with a bit of sort of silver in the design, say a gentle pinstripe, we could do something on those lines.
Yes, please.
Okay, well, just one moment. He goes over to a sort of another rack and pulls one off and brings out this sort of. It's lovely. It's that sort of not quite velvety in terms of the color texture, but it is quite it's quite a hard wearing cloth, but there's little sparkles of silver thread, just a very light pinstripe to it across the front panels, and in the back, as you would expect, is more kind of more silky satiny sort of material. I'll do this to you for 2 silver, so let's say for. Tell you what, I'll throw in another 2 shirts. Let's call it 5 for the lot.
Okay. What about trousers?
Trousers, absolutely same style you've got there, or I have a variety of things. I have various sort of denims, corduroys.
I just want to look smart, so anything like.
Well, I've got some sort of some wool trousers.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Trousers, stay nice and cool in the heat of the day. Dark browns, blacks, black. Okay, you might get quite warm, but okay. Now, in terms of the cut, would you like that to be sort of quite generous in terms of the hips, or would you and the hips and the thighs, or would you want like sort of narrow and constrained? I can do any sort of type of cut really with them.
Just like this, please.
Just like that, sort of a general cut. Okay. Well, tell you what. Let's do that. If I get you 1, 2, 3, if I get you 2 pairs of trousers, the 4 shirts, and the waistcoat, let's do all those for gold.
Okay.
Fantastic, wonderful. He sort of starts getting things out of shelves and out of drawers and sort of puts them out. Would you like me to wrap them for you?
Yes, please. I'm going to have some form of a wash. So.
Oh, fantastic. So what brings you to this neck of the woods? While it's obviously been a bit of an adventure while you're doing it. He's sort of doing that, sort of wrapping up sort of the shirts and folding and sort of.
I am following the path of the protector.
Fascinating, wonderful. So you sort of you're past being into this area to hunt and find new territories, things like that.
Yes.
Well, I will look forward to. Possibly, just as your friend seems to have given me, bring you all sorts of exotic and strange pelts and things. I am more than happy to make things and to sort of design things with you to make certain that your attire reflects the mighty things that you've hunted.
Also,
and I want you now to have a mental image of a goblin version of Garrick while he's saying it.
Oh, dear.
Yes.
Very attentive.
Jake also points at one of sort of like one of the gowns and goes, "Can you also throw in a nice silvery gown?"
could do? What sort of? I mean, just something plain, so it's plain and workmanlike, or would you thinking something more for an occasion? What do you have in mind?
Just something that I can put on in the evening.
Certainly. So for your build for yourself, or would you like any other particular?
Jake at that point goes, turns into his female build.
He doesn't quite sort of gasp, but there's certainly the eyebrows shoot up because of, oh, the fun we're going to have. Yes, absolutely. I think just the thing. Right, mirror. That consignment we had from Aundair, is that in the back room? Oh yes, yes, the Fairhavens. Yeah, okay. I've got a changing room over there. I'll bring something here. I'll just pass it through if you want to give it a try.
Jake kind of just looks down, just looks down and goes, I'm still covered in blood.
Good point. Well,
Jake says, just hand it to me and I'll see if it'll fit.
Okay, and it comes out with this sort of this long sort of undoes the ties and stuff, and it is sort of this blue satin high sort of broad strap. It's sort of a shallow scoop on the neck. There's a very, very slight puff to the shoulder, but the sleeves don't proceed down any further than that, so lift up into there. Tapering waist in, but room, you reckon? Yeah, that'll actually be able to get into that without having to struggle to get over hips. I mean, to be fair for you could just reshape your hips and then move them back out again. But
goes,
and about mid calf level.
Yeah, that'll do. Thank you. I just don't have anything
suitable.
Let's
call that sleeper, and then maybe if there's something more complex you want to do, once you're more settled in, we can see what we can do. Okay. I think we can. I feel so pleased to be starting my day with someone who appreciates giving me a good challenge.
Jake then relaxes his form and takes the bag.
My dear, if nothing else, you will have a wonderful career on the stage should you ever choose to pursue it.
My mum told me that I would be great on the stage if I was to sweep it, so maybe that.
Oh, I'm sure your mother's being far too unkind. Anyway, sort order has the little paper bag and everything stacked in it, and little logo of the shop on the front of it. I mean, the sort of thing that you've heard of high fashion houses in Shan and things like that having this sort of thing. To be finding it in the middle of a Wild West frontier town is just what the hell is going on. But at the same time, it's bloody good. He knows his stuff and is obviously hoping that this will be the start of building some sort of fashion empire out on the Wild West and growing from here, sort of thing.
He gets out of his pocket like a little calf. He goes, my sister works with fabrics. That's her thing. So hands him over like a little card with like
the civis address that he can send messages.
It says Jick on it.
Jick.
And he goes, that's my sister. She's always looking to branch out and do business with people.
Wonderful. Well, my dear monster hunter, I think it's the beginning of a beautiful partnership. Wonderful. And with that, unless there's anything else you guys want to be finding, you are free to escape, get back to the hotel.
Kane and goes, did you get everything you were here for?
I'm sort of taken aback. I sort of caught the change out of the corner of my eyes. Oh, aren't you entertaining? Takes off hat and bows low. Should we walk back?
Yes, let's go back. I need to.
I'll offer my elbow. Be a gentleman and offer my elbow.
Jigsaw takes the arm and goes, I need to shower.
To be fair, I think we all need a wash of some kind. I need a nap.
And with these wise words, we draw the curtain as we reach the end of the session. You're heading back to the hotel. Everyone else is enjoying the poker night, enjoying the thing, or otherwise planning to have a quiet evening. And we'll pick this up possibly next week and see how we go from there. So, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Hopefully, I've dropped enough sort of clues in here for things that are taking place in the background and story plot ideas and downright silliness. And we'll pick up next time with your going to the town hall to meet the magistrate.
I'll be picking up the next morning.
We will be picking up in the morning.
Long rest.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Long story short, if you want to do a long rest, you can do a long rest. Yes.
Do not worry, because I'm doing it.
So,
And I do get one level of exhaustion back. So
yeah, you do, yeah.
I've also...
Yeah. Graska will do a constitution check for you in the morning as to whether you got a hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you all. Just coming up on 10:30. Back to you, Leah. Thank you for letting me steal your channel again.
That's awesome. I've just writing other stuff down. There we go. Yeah, that was good. Thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's been a fun and interesting. Joe's around. Oh, look at the heart. It's been fun. Thank you everybody. So on that note, as always from the channel, take your meds, stay hydrated, and get some sleep. Good night, everybody.
Night all.
Good night.